Now we'll examine the inheritance of genes based on their location on chromosomes. After Mendel's studies on how genes are inherited, scientists noticed that certain genes tended to be inherited together. A chromosome is a large cellular structure that contains many genes on it. While each gene might have different variations or alleles, the location of each gene is fixed. Each gene has a particular locus or location on a chromosome. All of the genes that are located together on a chromosome are called a linkage group. The image shows the linkage group for chromosome number 19. These are the different genes that are all located together on chromosome 19. Once it was known that genes had a particular location on chromosomes, scientists began investigating to figure out where each gene was located. This is called chromosome mapping. Typically, genes that are close together on the same chromosome will be inherited together. Here, the gene for characteristic A and characteristic B are close together on the chromosome. Big A and big B are together on the blue chromosome. And all of the offspring that get that chromosome will have those two alleles inherited together. Little a and little b are together on the red chromosome, and all of the offspring that get that portion of the chromosome will get those two alleles inherited together. However, scientists notice that sometimes the alleles are not inherited together and other variations of alleles occurred in the offspring. When the genes for A and B are far apart on the chromosome, they have a chance to get recombined. Recombination happens when crossing over occurs between the two gene locations. Remember that crossing over happens to non-sister chromatids in meiosis 1. Whenever crossing over happens between these two genes, the big A can be inherited with the little b, and the little a can be inherited with the big B. This only happens 3% of the time. This frequency of recombination events can help us to know how far apart the genes are on the chromosome. The further two genes are, it means there's more space between them, and the more chances that if crossing over happens, it will happen between the genes. If the genes are very close, they don't have much space between them, and it's less likely for crossing over to happen in between the genes. Scientists use the percent frequency of crossing over to determine how far apart they are. 1% frequency of recombination is equal to 1 chromosomal map unit.